But anyway, my whole saying is this, is that I know Kim didn't marry me for my money because when she met me, I was
Broke.
flat broke.
But he lived on the best condo in Honolulu and drove a Mercedes.
I look good, you know?
Look good.
No, but that's the whole thing is just because you're broke, you don't have to look poor. You know? Look, I'll say this much. You know, some of the worst people in the world are cheap people. You know, how many people don't like cheap people? Yeah. And yet, that's what people are taught. You know, be cheap, live below your means, don't tip. And I'd rather be generous. So, thank you. So even though I was flat broke, and as I say in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I believe I said, poor is eternal. Broke is temporary. So when I met Kim, I was just temporarily broke. And when I realized she was the woman of my dreams, what was my first gift to you?
Oh, you'll love this. My first gift from Robert was not a nice piece of jewelry or a fancy dinner or something lavish. My very first gift from Robert was an accounting class. Really?
Well,
an accounting class.
Look, gentlemen, if you're going to get married and your wife doesn't know assets from liabilities, you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
But I'll tell you what was interesting.
And women, if your husband doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, get a new husband.
But I'll tell you one thing about this class, because how many of you left school saying, I never want to go in a classroom again? I didn't like school. And so when Robert said, I want to give you this accounting class, I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine sitting in a classroom learning accounting. But what it was a 2-day workshop, and it was made up like a game. It was like we had a lemonade stand, and it was actually a game, and we played in teams, and it was exciting, and it was fun, and it totally reignited my love of learning. I thought I didn't like learning, but I just didn't like the way the school system taught me. But I actually love learning. So that was a huge first gift. Robert thought it was an accounting class, but really what that gift was it reignited my love of learning. Huge gift.
And, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So we thank you all for being here because you're active learners. You know what I mean? How many people have friends who are wondering, what are you doing here? Yeah. So we thank you for being here. But anyway, when I realized I was madly head over heels with Kim, there's two things. It wasn't the accounting course. I wanted to find out if she loved learning. Because you find out a lot of couples, they have kids and all this stuff, and they both say to the kids, you got to go to school, you got to go to school. But the parents don't go to school. And eventually they grow apart. So the reason I gave her the accounting course was I wanted to make sure we grew together. Because, first of all, Kim is my best friend. We're together 24/7. You imagine that. She's my best friend, she's my business partner, and then and only then is she a wife. So with that said, we thank you all for being here, because I wouldn't be here without Kim. There would never have been a Rich Dad, Poor Dad, there would have been a Cashflow game. I probably would never have made it. So with that, I